Hello, welcome back. It's been a weird transition for me over the past 6 months or so. I've gone from being a straight-laced doctor to venturing into the world of acting. And I have seen some positives and some negatives with that. Fairly balanced, actually. I wouldn't say it was one way or the other. I just think being a doctor and an actor, dangerous, okay? I'm living life on the edge right here. And that is because they are, in some ways, very similar, but in other ways, extremely different. And I do think I'm walking sort of a knife's edge most of my doctory life. And maybe it's all in my head, but maybe it is all true. So today I'm going to be talking about how acting has changed me as a doctor, but also the positives and the negatives and the challenges I've faced going back into medicine as with my new acting experience, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows, my friend, I'm telling you. So hi, if you're new here, I am Dawn. I'm a doctor. If you hadn't guessed by the introduction, I'm also I'm also acting, but I have a YouTube channel, I don't know, and I have a podcast. So I'm basically a fucking internet personality right here, okay? Don't like to blow my own trumpet, but no, I'm joking. I am an internet gal, a content creator as such, and that is in itself dangerous territory as a doctor. So it's also not very common, but if you look at all of the doctors who are online, they are not like me. I don't want to be like, I'm different, I'm unique, I'm special. But I'm sorry, I don't see many, if any, doctors who are also actors and content creators. I do think I am different, right? Because how many, show me one that is not me. I don't want to sound arrogant. I'm just facing the facts right here, okay? Because I think whenever people find out I create content and whenever they see me as a doctor, then they find out I create content, they're like, what? Like, not in a bad way, it's just like this complete juxtaposition of like, doctor is not also actor and content creator. But then when people see my content, if they know me as a doctor, they're like, oh my god, you're completely different. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm fucking boring when I'm a doctor. I'm literally a boring person because I can't behave in an abnormal way or an eccentric way as I would normally do. You know, you see me on this podcast, I'm like animated, I'm having fun, I'm saying things I actually think probably, or and I do notice that when I'm talking about myself as a doctor, I'm talking about my doctor experiences, I'm a lot more reserved, and it might not show that much, but I feel like a mental reservation, like I can't speak my mind when people know that I'm a doctor, and I find that really hard because I'm quite outspoken, I would say. And I guess we'll get into that a little bit later. Maybe I'm skipping ahead a little bit. We haven't gone into my story. Everybody loves a good story. Could I talk like this as a doctor? No fucking way could I. And vice versa. If I talked as I did as a doctor, as I do as a doctor in my acting content creation world, you would be fucking bored. I'm telling you. Bored. You wouldn't want to listen to me because actually, if you want to know what that's like, there is an excerpt of it, because if you go back, I think this is mainly just I'm scared in front of the camera, I don't know what to do. But if you go back about 2 or 3 years to when I started making YouTube videos, and maybe not podcasts, I don't know if that's, the same. I definitely speak a lot more freely now, but if you go back on my YouTube channel and maybe on my podcast, you will hear a difference, and that is because let's just get into the story. Let's stop beating about that bush. I don't know what that means, but it's a weird phrase. Let's just get to the point, essentially. So how did I get into acting? How did getting into medicine, I could talk about that. I could. Do you want to hear it? I don't know what you said, but I'll tell you, and if not, you could just skip ahead. This is how I got into medicine. There will be chapter markers, so you can just go, nah, bitch. Don't want to listen to that. Skip. So I decided, I might have already covered this in other podcasts, but here we are. I decided that I wanted to be a doctor at the ripe old age of 14. I was a little shitbag at 14. Maybe I am still a little shitbag, but less so now, I would say. I got out of a relationship, my first ever relationship. If you're listening, hi. And I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? And it came at a great time because it was at a time where I could still resit my GCSEs because I was a little shitbag. I basically didn't get any good grades because I was like, I'm not doing the exam. Like, don't ever do that. If you're 14 and listening, just sort your life out. There's my advice right there. Just sort your life out now because it sets you up for the future. Yes, I might not want to work as a doctor like long term, but I've got a medical degree. I've got a GMC registration. So it's like, the world is your oyster, bitches. Okay. So I chose to do it at 14. Basically, I did my Duke of Edinburgh. I don't know why. Like, I don't even know how that happened. But I did my silver, I want to say. I don't even know if I got it. Like, but I have a gold, so who gives a fuck? I basically did my silver, and I did a first aid course as part of it. Again, can't even remember why. But I did my first aid course, and then I was like, I quite like this. Maybe I just like being a hero. Maybe that's what it was. And I was like, oh, this bitch is saving lives. I've said bitch a lot, I'm sorry. I'm feeling sassy today. If you listened to my last episode, I was really fucking sad. So today is a lot better. We've come up with ways to not look at my analytics, and that is because I go through anyway, you can go listen to that episode. But my method of solving that problem was basically, Tom said, why don't you put a bookmark on your computer that goes straight to your content tab on your YouTube channel? Because I was like, I just go through the YouTube studio. And he was like, I said, I can see my subscribers and everything, and like all the analytics, like there's a little summary tab. Right, I don't necessarily go onto the analytics, but you can still see it. He was like, well, you could just skip that page. And I was like, oh yeah, I could. So I've done that, and life's a lot better. Analytics are not good for you, right? I already, just go listen to that app if you actually care. Like, just go listen to it. But I am a bit sad, but like I'm still, listenable, I would say. So, oh my God, right. I keep forgetting where I've gone. So if you wonder if I have ADHD, it's quite possible. If, you only have to listen to this and you think, there's something wrong with that girl. So, or something right with her. Am I right? So, I basically, decided I wanted to become a doctor. I don't know why. I just liked saving lives or whatever. I just like doing CPR. I like jumping on people's chests, breaking their bones, and then being like, yay, I saved you. No, I don't know what it was. I don't know. I really don't. I just liked it. So at that moment, I decided, I'm going to become a doctor. And thank God I had the brains for it, and also the motivation, because I don't know where it came from. I was literally getting Fs in my exams because I was so naughty. I would literally sit there and it's so bad, like I shouldn't laugh, but I purposefully sat there and just didn't do the exam. And it's not like I didn't know the stuff. I was just being a little shit. Like, I was like, no, I'm not doing it. No. I want to be fucking emo and trendy. Although I wasn't an emo at that time. I was like chavvy. And I was like, I want to be fucking cool. Like, I'm not going to do my exams. I'm going to fail them all. Yeah, that is what went through 14-year-old me's head. I was very mature. You wouldn't believe this. I was a very mature teenager. I moved out when I was 16, lived on my own. But you wouldn't believe it listening to that story. I honestly, my life was turned around. Like, I really sorted it out. Don't know what happened. I think I realised that, I think I just realised that maybe nothing's certain. I was with that boyfriend, and then we broke up, and then I was like, fuck. And I was like, wait there, now my life doesn't revolve around you. I bet, and it is a good job we broke up, so thanks, bae. But I think I realised at that time, I was like, okay, life doesn't always turn out how you want it to. So I guess now I need to change something. Like, I don't know what happened. It's just something clicked. So this is a very long story. I don't know why I'm getting into this. But yeah, then I sorted my life out, and I did my GCSEs, did did all right in them. And then I went to a grammar school and I fucking nailed A-levels. Okay, I've got my head down and I nailed them. So then I got into med school, and I really struggled through med school and through my first year as a doctor. And I've been working as a doctor now for 2018, 5 years. That's when I qualified. So 5 years, and only up until probably November, October-ish. I don't know. It was like end of last year. I was like, no, okay, I had wavering moments before then where I was like, I don't want to do this. What am I doing? This is shit. This is not what I thought I signed up for. I'm not really saving lives. I'm actually just doing discharge summaries. Or I'm actually just keeping people alive that, don't actually have a quality of life. What am I doing? It's not what I thought it was going to be. The thing is, everyone's like, you signed up to be a doctor, you deal with it. And it's like, well, yes, I did, but I signed up basically at the age of 14, and it's now 14 years later. And things are very different, and it's not always what you think it's going to be. So also when you're 16, 18, I was very, I guess, swayed with, I do love people, I do love science, and that was part of it. But I think some of it was probably also, wanting to be a doctor. And maybe some of it is now. I'm not going to shy away from the fact that being a doctor has some respect and notoriety that people love, like people as in people being the doctor, that doctors love to have. And I think that's why, and I've talked about this a lot, that's why a lot of doctors don't leave, because they don't want to leave that, like, I'm a doctor personality or vibe, or but I've again done another episode on that, so I don't need to go into that here. But yeah, so where even was I? Oh yeah, so the end of last year, I was like, shit, what like I've also talked about toxic work environment, and I was in a toxic work environment at that point, and I was like, I need to get out of here, and I just really didn't want to be in medicine. So I took a really long break, and I really upped my YouTube content creation. I actually started my YouTube channel when I was an F2, I think. It was like it was in COVID, and I started creating content then. I started my podcast around that time. I started my YouTube channel. My podcast has sort of been on and off, but this is like really, it's really like consistent at the moment. I'm just like into it, so why not? The thing is, I talk a lot, okay, you can tell. And YouTube, you can't talk a lot. YouTube videos, nobody wants to listen to you talking for 45 minutes to an hour. So I'm like, okay, I'll just do my podcast, and then I can talk for as long as I want within reason. So yeah, toxic, I'm not getting to the point, I'm sorry. Toxic work environment, and I was like, no, I want to leave medicine. So that is when, and like I said, I had my YouTube channel and stuff, and I was listening to a podcast that was for content creators, and it was like, they said they were doing improv, and I was like, maybe I could do improv. So I looked it up. We'd moved to Bristol by this point, and there's a lot of creative stuff going on in Bristol, a lot of creative arts, so I was like, let's try out some improv. It didn't really scare me as much as it scares other people. Like, I remember the first one I went to, I was like terrified, because obviously it's your first time and you don't know anybody, but then I was like, fuck, I love this shit. So I mean, your whole life is improvised, isn't it? I don't know, people are scared of improv, but I think people are more scared of performing. But then people, I think, and then when people start performing, then they're like still scared of improv, but that's because they think that they have to be funny and they don't want to like fuck it up. But really, if you just say the first thing that comes to your head, it's not that difficult. And also, it doesn't need to be funny. Anyway, just trying to sell you on improv here. But I got into improv. I did quite a few courses there. And then I was like, maybe I quite like performing. I just loved it. I loved like getting up in front of people. And what I loved was the working with someone, but like playing with someone. Like, I am a child at heart. And I was like, let's play. And I just played with, not literally, but played with the person who I was with, and that was really fun. And I was like, why am I not doing this more often? So I left medicine in January and lived off my savings, which was a struggle, let me tell you. That was fucking stressful, really stressful. And lots of tears were shed, Then I applied to start on the bank in January, end of January, but it took so long, as in the locum bank as a doctor, not the bank, like Halifax. I applied and it took until like May, because it's June now, May until all the paperwork was sorted. Fuck me, did it take a long time. And then I started and it's been good. I've been working in the emergency department. I've enjoyed it. I just love emergencies. I love excitement. I love drama. I love drama. There we go. I love drama. But I love drama in terms of drama that necessarily doesn't affect me. So either it's not real, or e.g. acting, or drama that, like, I don't want to be the centre of drama. Like, I don't like pissing people off. I don't like upsetting people. I don't want to be like, I don't know. I don't like being the centre of it, but I like being involved. So, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind being a lead in a play. That's not what I mean. I mean, like, I don't want to be the centre of controversy. So, but I don't know. Is that just me, or is that just doctors? Doctors never want to be involved in controversy, because it's literally the opposite of what we want in medicine, because that loses your job. Anyway, so I am sort of straddling the boundary between medicine and acting, and at the moment acting isn't really paying for me. It's hard to get into. They say medicine's hard to get into, but I think it's actually fucking easier because I don't know, is it easier because I have done it, or is it easier because it actually is easier? I think it's easier personally. That's because I've done it, yes, but also with medicine it's like, okay, you get GCSEs, you get A-levels, then you go to medical school, then you're a doctor. It's linear, it's progressional. People push you through this system and it's like, okay, now I do this. It's like prescribed. It's so simple to follow. There's a flowchart for it. Acting? I don't know. Who fucking knows? Not me. Not anybody, actually. You go to acting school. I know lots of people that have been to acting school or drama school. They're not professional actors. I don't even know what they do. Work in offices. They're not like, it's not like you qualify from acting school and you are then an actor. It's like you're then someone with a drama degree or a drama, I don't know what you call it. But do you know what I mean? It's like there are so many people wanting to do it. And actually you don't even need to go to drama school to work as an actor. You can actually just sort of, if you're good at it and if you practice and go to lessons outside of drama school, then you can actually just do it. Like, you don't have to, like, you can't do that with medicine. You can't just be like, hello, I'm very good at talking to people. I am quite, like, I know what cells are, so I'm good at science, and I don't mind blood, so can I be a doctor, please? And they're like, yeah, sure. If you go get your uniform on and then you can go get started and go see a patient. No, you can't do that. It takes fucking ages. And it kind of concerns me because I've seen something recently that's like, oh, doctors can now start being doctors without a medical degree. They just have an apprenticeship. I'm like, good luck, bitches. Good luck. Like, I do not see that working. Mainly because I don't know who's going to train them. Like, and also, I don't know. I just, it's one of these crazy government ideas. And would you trust a doctor who hadn't been to medical school? I don't know. It's like a trust thing, isn't it? You don't want to start. I'm sorry. I know there are plenty of people out there who have not been to medical school who would make great doctors. But you don't want to start diluting the profession and therefore diluting the trust of the profession by, just going, well, off you go. Anybody can come into medical school now. And, doctors hold significant trust, and that's because people know that we have to be heavily trained. And I think that in itself instills trust. If you just start throwing like doctors out there willy-nilly, people are then going to start going, oh, are you one of those ones that went to medical school, or are you one of the ones that, just did an apprenticeship. Also, it kind of devalues the fact that we have 70 grand's worth of debt and people can now just get paid to be a medical student. That will piss a lot of people off. But anyway, there we go. That's me moaning for the profession. It's not just me that thinks that, trust me. Okay, so that's how a long old story, but that's how I got into medicine and then how I sort of started venturing into acting. But yeah, I wouldn't say I'm an actor. People say, oh, you're an actor. I'm like, am I? I've now only just started calling myself a YouTuber because it's just easier than saying I have a YouTube channel. But I still, if people said, what's your job? I would say doctor. I wouldn't be like, I'm a YouTuber or I'm an actor. I would be like, I'm a doctor, but I also have a YouTube channel and I do acting. Like, that is how I would describe myself. I also have a podcast. Like, I wouldn't say I'm a podcaster because I don't make money from it. I wouldn't say I'm a YouTuber because it's not my job. Although it's not like I don't want it to be or don't necessarily want it to be. I don't know yet. It's not like something I know because I haven't ever done it as my job. But you don't know you want to do something until you start doing it, right? And that's why people get through medical school and then they're like, oh shit, I'm not sure I want to be a doctor, because then they start being a doctor and they're like, oh no, I'm not sure I can do this. Just a little side note. I spoke to my friends the other day and they're like, Dawn, I don't know how you monologue for literally an hour. And I realised that I'm doing it now and I'm like, I don't know. I can just talk. I guess it's practice, but also I'm just telling you my thoughts and my story. And also I have gotten over, through improv actually, interestingly, gotten over the fact that I'm like, oh, I don't know whether I can say that. Oh, I just say whatever comes to my head. I just talk, and anybody can do it. You just have to practice, all right? You just have to, for a start, I've had a podcast and a YouTube channel for 2 or 3 years, okay? So it's not like I was like this to start with. Before I was like, hi, I'm Dawn. I work as a doctor and I have 2 dogs, and watching my old YouTube videos, very painful. Like, that's what it feels like. So yeah, I mean, this is literally just monologue forever, but I can do it. I can just do it for a long time. It also depends what mood I'm in. Sometimes I'm like, if I'm like feeling really anxious or stressed, it's not happening. So today I was seizing the day. The podcast's not out till tomorrow, but I'm seizing the day. It's being seized. It's 6:30. It's not like seizable, right? So it's been a slow day. Anyway, that was a little side note. That is how you monologue. You practice it. Like, I actually did a video on how to just say everything that you're thinking. You're like, and here's my donkey cup and it's got water in it, and yes, it's pretty ugly. I got it from a charity shop. Actually, I didn't get it from a charity shop. My boyfriend Tom did, and I thought, what the fuck is that? That's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. And then I thought, this would be great. It would be great to have on my podcast because it's fucking weird. And I have a weird thoughts section. And that, my friends, is how you monologue. You just say whatever comes to your little noggin at that moment in time. Just do it on your own. Just be like, microphone, TV, plants, table. That's all the things that are in the room. Okay, come on then. How can acting benefit doctors? Can doctor benefit acting? Oh, there's so many ways I could talk about this. Let's talk about how acting can benefit doctors. Look, I am, interestingly, okay, I say okay too much, I'm sorry. Interestingly, since I've gone back working as a doctor, the first day I was back, I don't know what happened, but somebody kissed me, one of the patient's wives, and somebody hugged me. And also that patient wife hugged me as well. So I got 2 hugs and a kiss. So I must be doing something right for somebody to want to hug and kiss me, and then somebody else to want to hug me. It's never happened before in like the realm of my work. And what's the one thing that's changed? Well, the one thing that's changed is I guess I started acting, or I started doing improv. And maybe I also had a break from medicine, so I hated my life a bit less. Who knows? Maybe I was having a good day. Maybe it's because it was my first day, and then I was like, oh, sorry, I'll put the pen down. And then I was like, I was just taking, time to speak to people and stuff. So who knows what happened there? But a kiss, a handhold, a hug, 2 hugs, this lady telling me she would never forget me, yet a couple of days later she was like, where do I know you from? I'm like, Margaret, it looks like you forgot me, okay? You said you would never forget me. Those were your words. And look what happened. Dementia, maybe. I don't know. Sorry. So, yeah, whether I was maybe more friendly, more confident, more energetic, looked less like I wanted to kill myself, more outgoing, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I was more happy to touch them, or I was looking a bit more empathetic. Is that a confidence thing, or is that have I acted more empathetically, or have I just learned how to act? No, wait. Or am I just more empathetic? Or I don't know. Okay. Nobody likes I don't know, so let's come up with an idea. I think I show my emotions more now. In fact, we'll get to that in a bit because that's not necessarily a good thing. I think I show my emotions more, and I think I have a more outgoing, friendly personality. I'm also not burnt out, I'd like to add. So yeah. Next, how can being a doctor benefit acting? I think in the acting world, or not just acting but content creation, one must have a unique selling point. One must be different. One must be exceptional. One must be trustworthy. One must be confident. One must have many qualities that many people do not have, or have not possessed the skill of. It's not that you don't have confidence, it's that you haven't practiced it, okay? Because it's a skill, it's not a personality trait, alright? You can all be confident if you do so try. What happened there? I don't know, I just went into some kind of period drama alter ego, but yeah, you can be confident if you try. So I think, anyway, being a doctor in the acting world, or content, I don't know what to call it, performer world, because I think being a content creator is performing as such. Being a doctor in that sphere stands you out a bit. Not only do people believe more of the information you're saying, I think, even, as a doctor as well. I could just be a fucking nobody, just a Dawn. I'm just a Dawn, and I'm saying, yeah, people tend to go to hospital with their friends. Where the fuck did I get that information from? How the fuck does Dawn know? Dawn's nobody. Wait there, okay. Let's take it out of hospital context, because obviously other people, Dawn, non-doctor Dawn, is not gonna, know things about hospital, right? I could say, pavements. This is me using my improv brain here, okay? Pavements are hard, and they are only broken by diamond rings. So when somebody falls over with a diamond ring is the only time that you're going to see a pavement crack. Is that true? I don't know, but we're making it up here, okay? So if random Dawn content creator says that as she's walking down the street, maybe it holds less weight than if I'm like, hello, I'm Dawn, I'm a doctor, and I know that whenever somebody falls over with a diamond ring and it hits a pavement, it's much more likely to crack than if somebody fell over with a glass ring on a pavement. And diamond rings are the only thing that will penetrate a concrete pavement. Now, who are you more likely to believe, right? Dr. Dawn or Dawn? I mean, neither of them knows whether that's the answer, but just by having doctor there, you are more reputable, even if it's not about medicine, okay? Because doctors are just, thought to be more intelligent. Are we? I don't know. Maybe we just work hard. Maybe it's just luck. Maybe just some people have more money. There's lots of factors. I'm not saying it's just intelligence. I think one of the biggest reasons I got into medical school first time, and I think, okay, I'm giving you my secrets here. One of the biggest reasons why people get things is because they tell a good story. Yes, you need qualification. You need to back it up. You can't just tell a story and be like, yeah, I got into medical school. But, you need to have good grades and shit. But I think I had a good story, and also I had a lot of life experience, and that helps. You just have to be reflective and have a good story. Like, I honestly believe that, okay? You just have to look on X Factor to see that, or Britain's Got Talent. You don't need to have a medical degree to know that, or anything degree to know that. Just watch X Factor. Everyone on there who does well has a fucking sob story, because people love it, all right? Facts. So that is how I think being a doctor, it can help you to be an actor, performer, content creator. But I definitely think it hinders you as well, because I really struggled being a doctor and trying to be a content creator, because I felt like everything I was saying, everything I was exuding, everything that any facial expression or anything that could give away any thought process to anybody was like, could get me in trouble. I'd be like, oh, did I say that right? Did I offend somebody? Like, in my head, thinking, oh, could that be misconstrued in the wrong way? Could people think, oh, she's a doctor, I'm going to go report her? Like, what, is she, did that sound homophobic? Or did that sound like racist? Or, so I don't know, anything I say, that took me a really long time to get over. A long time. I don't think I'm over it yet. And that's kind of why I left being a doctor, because I was like, I want to be a performer and a content creator, and I just didn't know how to, not only that, there was other things, but I didn't know how to like be myself as a content creator without withholding the title of being a doctor, because I was like, everybody's gonna see me as a doctor. If I'm working as a doctor and I'm a content creator or a performer, then I can't detach from either of them. So if I stop working as a doctor, then that means that nobody has any ammunition over me. And that was a good choice for me at the time. I thought, I think I am learning, okay? I think I'm getting better. The thing is, as a content creator, you have to sort of be a bit different. You have to be a bit exceptional. You have to say things that might be a bit controversial. You have to do things that are a bit outstanding, a bit like, ooh, they make people look, they make people listen, they make people turn their heads. And as a doctor, you don't ever want to do that. You want to fit in. You want to conform, because one of the biggest things when you are being sued is the question, what would another doctor have done? And if you strayed from the path of what every other doctor would have done, then you are opening yourself up to issues, because did you behave in a way that was different to other doctors? And that literally, I'm not even fucking lying, that is the crux of it. So then when you've got that in your mind, and your whole medical life, especially in medical school, has been based on the thought of, am I going to get sued? Am I going to get reported to the GMC? Am I going to get struck off? Those are the three things that are forever, as well as maybe complaints, but the three things that are forever cycling within your brain. You've got that in the back of your mind at all times. It's like this horrible, evil cloud forming over you, like constantly. And then when you've got that over your head and you're trying to be yourself, it's hard to do. But I guess the way that I've kind of overcome that is I see myself here, or in my YouTube videos, as myself, but performing. I'm performing. And then when I'm performing as a doctor, I know, sounds weird, but I see that as a performance too. When I'm performing as a doctor, that is, again, a different me. So in my head, I've separated these alter egos as such, right? Now, does that make a difference in terms of, if I do something crazy? And I'm never doing anything crazy. Like, I'm a bit of a catastrophizer. So if I'm like, oh, did I say the wrong word? Or, oh, did I make a video that was a little bit different or weird? In my head, I'm like, right, that's it. I have lost my job. I am never going to work as a doctor anymore. I'm going to be homeless. Okay, that is what goes on in my head. So I think it's still ongoing, and I go through ups and downs of being like, oh, I'm going to get sued. I'm going to be on the streets. I'm going to be like, I'm literally going to die on the streets and have a heroin addiction. Like, that is what's going to happen if somebody reports me, okay? That is what I think. But then on the other hand, it takes a lot to sue a doctor. I have been reported to the GMC, not for like, I've talked about it before, but the GMC weren't bothered. They were literally like, well, I mean, that's the impression I got anyway. They were like, yeah, just to let you know, somebody complained about you and we're not taking it any further. They are there to stop you from doing anything dangerous, to, I guess, stop Harold shipments. Am I killing anybody? No, I'm not, hopefully. Am I saying anything that's really fucking dangerous? No. Am I doing anything that would severely put the doctor reputation into disrepute? No. Like, if people think that, then they can, I guess, report it. I don't know. Like, but it's subjective. I get that, is what I'm saying. But on the face of it, if you really look at it, am I doing anything fucking crazy? Like, no, I'm not. I'm just talking to a microphone. I'm a nice person. I say nice things. I be nice to people. There we go. So, yeah, I don't know. Look, this is me right here. You just witnessed it firsthand. That's me being like, am I saying the right thing? Am I saying something wrong? Am I, what am I? And by the way, when I do, I have said this before, but when I talk about things, I'm not talking about anybody in particular. So, just take that out of your mind. I'm not talking about you. Like, I just generally talk about things. So, all right, let's get on to the negative side, because it has impacted me. It has. There we go. That was, first hand right there. I literally just talked about how I got reported to the GMC. Somebody complained about me. I've talked about it before. Somebody said I was talking about them or writing, it was actually a blog post, writing a blog post about their family member. And I was like, literally, no, I wasn't. Because they didn't like a certain situation that had happened in hospital, and then they just wanted to get back at me. I don't know, but like, it was not my decision. I was just the messenger. So the messenger got shot heavily, got artillery bombed. I don't know, but it was a bad situation. Anyway, my documentation was fire. Okay, fire. It was great. I knew this was a difficult situation. Also, I'm not stupid enough to write confidential information on the internet. Like, I have been taught for 10 years not to do such a thing. So I would then not go and do a thing that would get me into trouble, right? Duh. So whenever I write blogs or whatever about situations, I don't include the patient's name. I don't include I might even change their age. In fact, I do. I change literally everything about them. And I amalgamate different patients together, so you would never know who I'm talking about. Even I don't know who I'm talking about. I am talking about generic situations. So it is actually, like, I was going to say impenetrable. I mean, nothing's impenetrable, but you'd be hard pressed to figure out who I'm talking about, because literally, like I said, I am not talking about anybody in particular. It's not like I'm like, John Smith, who has a cat called Tabby and walks his dog called Roger from his house at number 1 Mr. John Street, and this is the rest of the address, and this is his phone number. Like, come on. I'm not that bloody stupid. And this is his date of birth. Anyway, so being a content creator, putting yourself out online, just generally as a human, you open yourself up to issues, because you open yourself up to not only the mind of yourself of being like, am I good enough? Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing this? Blah, blah, blah. Questioning yourself, but you open yourself up to, like, hate and negative comments from other people. One of my recent comments on my YouTube videos was, ew, thanks, but I mean, it just didn't bother me. But I was like, that might bother somebody. I think it's funny. I think gross things are funny. Like, I don't even know what the video is about, but I was just like, I thought the comment was funny that someone would comment ew, because I think it's funny that things are gross, and then I think it's funny that you think that I don't think it's great. I don't know, it's just funny. I find a lot of things funny. Good times. If you can't laugh at yourself, then what are you really laughing at? Other people, and that's a sad way to be. You should always laugh at yourself. So, yeah, being a content creator, just generally putting yourself out online is, strugs. It is. Next is being a doctor who is a bit more exuberant. Now, obviously, I'm not that well known, and I also don't go shouting about it in hospital. Another thing is I stopped filming in hospital because I was a bit worried that I was going to get myself in trouble for, just having things in the background, or I don't want people to see it and then go, oh, she's misrepresenting the hospital in a certain way. So my content now is always filmed mainly at home or outside, but rarely, if ever, at the hospital. And if it is, it's of me doing something like eating, or there's nothing in the background, or I'll do it against, like, you can't tell which hospital I'm in, etc. So I have learned that the hard way. That's my motto in life: learning life the hard way. Literally is. That's what's on my blog. And yeah, so because life is hard and we learn things and we fuck up and make mistakes, and then you go, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. And that is literally life, like making mistakes and then going, oops, I did it again. So yeah, confidentiality. Also, I guess if I were to become more well known, and I have seen this with other doctors sort of, is people recognizing you and going like, oh, I've seen your video. I did have that on one of my TikToks. They were like, somebody commented like, oh, I've seen you around in so-and-so hospital. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So, I mean, I wasn't doing anything crazy, but it was a bit like, it was a sort of, it made me think, oh God, I don't want to film in hospital anymore. Like, that was I want to keep those lives separate. My content creator performer life is separate to my doctor life. I want to keep them separate. That's what I've learned. Now, something that I noticed yesterday as I was becoming very overtired is that my barrier to my, my own personal persona, or I guess my own personal personality, that's the word I was looking for, started to seep through. And I was like, hold it in, Dawn. It got to 10 or 11 and I just couldn't control myself. I was like this in the hospital. I was really trying to be a normal human, normal doctor, I should say. Be, like robot Dawn. Hello, how can I help you today? What have been your symptoms for the past 5 years? And I just started to, not in front of patients, but in front of like staff, and that's generally okay, being a bit more woo, but I don't know these people that well, and I'm just a bit like, I don't know how. When I'm out just in general life, I don't give a fuck what people think of me. If I act myself and people don't like it, well, they can leave, but when they're working with me, they can't. And I don't want to disrupt I don't want to make things like weird. So, and I don't want to cause any undue attention to myself. I just want to go to work, be a doctor, and leave, and then release in, my performing self or my personality. I have very much subcategorized my personalities now into, when I'm a doctor, I am this. So I did find it last night a bit difficult. I was really struggling and straining to keep it in, and I could notice it coming out, and I was like, oh no. And I just want to be crazy and run around, but I know that that's not okay. Okay, I know it's not okay. Do I want to do it? Yeah, I do. And as I walked off the hospital floor, as I walked out of A&E, I said, love ya. And I was like, oh, I don't know how that's quite going to go down. I was like, see you later, love ya. And the other doctor, she was like, love you too. So obviously went down well. Could that have gone very badly for me? Yes. It's hard because I might actually do an episode on this. Are doctors horrible? Because a lot of doctors are fucking horrible to other doctors. And it's like, what? We think that's okay? What? And so that definitely could have gone down badly. That could have gone down me being unprofessional is the common phrase that's thrown around when you exude any kind of personality, is that you're unprofessional. It goes down well with the nurses, I'll tell you that. The nurses are like fire. They're chill. They're fun. But doctors, No, not so much. Easily offended, easily disgruntled. I would say well over 50% of them. And then you have the ones that are a bit more fun-loving, like me. But yeah, a lot of nurses say to me, and I don't want to be a fucking bitch, sorry, but a lot of nurses say to me, oh, you're not like the other doctors. Like, you actually talk to us. And I'm like, yeah, I know, because I'm a normal fucking human. And I'm sorry, doctors who are like this. But to be fair, if you are like that, then you probably won't be listening to my podcast, so it's fine, because you'll be done with me by now, and I've been talking for nearly an hour, so you just won't be here. You won't be listening to this, so that's fine. But I'm sorry, yeah, I would say, I don't know, I'm going to just stick at 50-50, I'm going to stick on the fence and say, I would say that 50% of doctors are fun, and 50% of doctors, maybe even, I would say, maybe even more than 50% are, like, robotic. So, yeah, as I said, it was seeping out in my personality was seeping out, and I have noticed it in other times where I've been a bit more, like, cash with patients, and I've reined it in, because I've gone, oh, that's, not cash as in, like, I don't know, slapping them on the butt or something, but just in the way that I talk. You don't know how it's going to go down is the issue, and people will hide their emotions and then snake you, right? So I am trying to maintain my boring doctor persona at work. I think it's all a learning process. I think it's it's going to be tough. The last thing that I've written is, facial expressions. My facial expressions have definitely, I used to be very deadpan, still am when I'm being funny, but I think working as an actor has definitely made me be more expressive, and that has shown in my work, because the other day I wasn't like being shocked, but I was sat there like looking at the computer like this, and people next to me were like, what's she doing? And I think I was just stretching. I was just doing that, but people thought I was shocked. People thought I was like whereas before maybe I'd stretch like, with no expression on my face. I think my facial expressions, I remember when I was, maybe younger doctor, and people would be like, I have no idea what you're thinking. And I'd be like, good. I don't want you to know what I'm thinking. But now I'm a bit worried, because I'm like, I don't want, and this is where the masks helped a lot. I don't want people to know what I'm thinking. And maybe it's not what I'm thinking, but it's maybe the expression that I'm portraying. So I am trying to keep that under wraps a bit. It's real difficult, because I don't know any performers that are also doctors, or vice versa. So it's something I'm really, navigating. It's going to be a difficult course. The last thing was playing certain roles. If I'm on TV, for example, and I'm portraying a negative role, people might then associate me, like if I was, for example, playing a really shit doctor on TV, or a really bad doctor, or like a Harold Shipman type personality, people then might see me as their doctor and be like, oh god, and not quite see the difference that I'm playing a character, and now I am actually just me working as a doctor. But I mean, if you see me playing a character, and then you see I'm quite friendly in real life, so people hopefully would see the difference, and I would like to think I'm quite reassuring. So I don't know if that's a real thing, whether that will be a problem, but that's a hypothesis. Anyway, guys, I'm fucking starving, and I've been talking for an hour, and I think that's it. That is literally it. Anyway, guys, I upload every few days. I was going to say every 2 weeks, but no, twice a week. I upload twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays. And then if you're just listening on the podcast, hey, I also do videos, but they go up on my YouTube, which is at Dawn Barlow, DAWNBARLOW. I probably said that way too fast, but you get the point. Basically, Gary Barlow has the same name as me. Gary Barlow's wife has the same name as me. So it's not that hard to find, but you will have to try and get through the Dawn Barlow, Gary Barlow's wife content first, because she's richer than me and older than me. But also Gary Barlow is way more famous than I am. Oh shit, I've only got 30 seconds to go till the camera turns off. Okay, yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. If you did like it, give it a like. Please share with your friends, family, people who you think might vibe with it, and yeah, follow it, give it a rating if you're listening on like Spotify or whatever. Super helps me out, super helps out the content, and gets it to other people who might also enjoy it or benefit from it. And don't you just want to help other people? Anyway, thanks for listening. I will see you in a few days. Bye. Mwah. Love you. Mwah.